All right, Bob, we're here for round 2 of this session. I have Johnny Tompkins Jr. here, who was assistant coach at St. Vincent St. Mary, who pretty tough team. We got Josh Tompkins, John Tompkins. Well, actually, you guys are brothers, aren't you?
Yes.
All right, well, start talking.
Well, this year we had a pretty good, successful team. Had a state champion, you saw in Adkins. 2 runner-ups, 2 sevenths. Challenge for the title. Hopefully, maybe next year we can get it.
Well, are you going to beat Graham?
We're going to try.
You know what, Josh? What's it like to be at Tompkins?
It's fun sometimes, and then other times.
Well, you know what? Let's see. Let's look at your family. Let's see. I'm looking at your dad over there. What did he do? How many state champions did he win?
2.
All right, and he was 3rd.
Yeah.
Well, and Sean was what?
State champ.
State champ. What did you do, Johnny?
I was 2nd.
2nd. Man, you know what? I don't know that there's. Well, I don't think there's. I don't think there's. Yeah, Robert and George. George was a 2-time champ, wasn't he? Or 1st and 2nd.
1st and 2nd. Robert was 2nd. Sean was 1st and 2nd. And 6th.
There's no family in Portage County, in my opinion, that has anything to say. You know, there was a guy here earlier today saying, well, what about these Southeast Counts and all them people? Well, you know what? Start adding up the Tompkinses. Hey, you were a district qualifier this year, Josh.
Yeah.
You know what? I know, well, you know, you were probably, what, a little bit over 500 wrestlers, but man, you stuck that kid. Shoot, you could have went to state, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I should have.
Well, next year, huh?
Yeah.
You better start working out with your brother.
Yeah, that helped him a little bit.
He's bigger than you, ain't he?
That's all right.
Start talking, you guys.
Well,
I can't do it all.
Do you, I mean, basically, we've got our AWC club. They're practicing Wednesdays and Sundays, 6 on Wednesdays, Sundays at 1. All kids are welcome. We don't turn anyone away. There'll be, as you can see, there's 3 state champs going to be practicing there every Wednesday and Sunday. Multiple state placers, so if you want to come and learn how to wrestle and get better, the competition will be there.
Well, that's
We will take
Anthony Gary, right?
Yeah, and we will take them traveling to Pennsylvania, Indiana, Virginia, Florida.
Well, you know what, John? That's what it is about the off season. You got to wrestle. You got to get that mat time.
Yep.
You know, it isn't. Let's just goof off. You know. What, Josh? What are you gonna do in the off season?
Well, I run track.
Play
but
basketball?
No. No.
That's his brother.
Yeah. I run track, and then on Sundays I'm gonna go to practice.
You're gonna. You know what? You're kind of tall and lanky for a Tompkins. You know, hell, you might be the biggest one.
Well, you want me to come in now?
But come on in, John. We're gonna bring it in, Johnny. There's a seat there. We're gonna bring in John Tompkins Sr. right now.
First of all, you asked a question about being a Tompkins. Well, sometimes it's a great thing, and then as a child, it could be a bad thing because you're going to get your butt reamed out every time you do bad.
Yeah.
So Tompkins got a high standard, and they look up to that, and they usually perform. And I just wanted to go over a few things. You know, there's some things that people say that I was one of the best wrestlers, not only in Portage County, but in the state of Ohio, and some even in the nation. All I can say is Ohio has the greatest wrestling in the nation, and it's like we're all a great wrestling family. And I'm talking whether you're from St. Paris, Graham, or St. Ed's, we are a great powerhouse, and we've won the nationals high school nationals over and over and over. And a lot of people don't know where I started from. Was from a family back then that were called the Murphys, which was my mother and my dad at Tompkins. Mogator Wrestling opened up the first open wrestling there were in Ohio. A lot of people don't know that, but the coaches and the wrestlers that performed there know this, and many of them, I could just name off a few names right now. Mark Zimmer, first 4-time state champion Ohio, worked out there. Pat Melkovich, Maple Heights. Jimmy Brown, Akron Ellet. Keith Fox, Randy Glover, Bill Potts, Dave Riggs, Gus Kali, Chuck Kali, many, many more names. Anthony Gary, Gino Capone, Lee and Lash from Akron Garfield. I can go on and on and on. There's one time I was working out in that room, and I'm talking the open wrestling room at Mogator. I looked around and there were 17 state champs working out with me. And I looked around again and there were 7 of them were national champs. So, you know, I mean, wrestling in northeastern Ohio started at Mogator. Not counting St. Ed's, I'm talking the Akron area. There's many coaches many coaches right now in the field. Dave Riggs, the Kalis, Anthony Gary. Like I said, I can just keep on naming names that are great people and were great wrestlers who I not only got the chance to work out with, but also coached. And Columbus didn't like this. There was a time back in the 70s where we got letters from Columbus saying you can't work out when there's more than 1 or 2 people from another team there. Well, further on down the road, you have to give this credit to 2 guys, and that was John Murphy, which is my uncle, and Tom Murphy, who's my uncle, who was also my coach. These 2 men are the ones that opened up wrestling in Akron, Ohio, in the surrounding areas. I'll tell you a story. Back in 1971, Mogator was going to state. There was 4 of us that made it. It was only 2 divisions. We were in AAA. Out of the 4 guys that made it to state, me and my brother, Robert, who had never wrestled, who was a senior, decided to come out for wrestling. We both entered the state championship together, and it was his birthday. So every year we celebrate my brother's birthday on a state tournament. Unfortunately, he took second, but he had never wrestled in his life and took second in the state. I went on and won it as a sophomore. I was dethroned as a junior, and I came back, and I did something that many people wouldn't do, and that's I totally dislocated my elbow in the semifinals. Coach Tom Murphy put it back in place. I wrestled, beat that kid, and went on into the state championship. The Ohio State trainers fixed me all up, prepared me to wrestle at 7 o'clock. I went out there and won a state championship and won 6-0.
You know what, John, not to interrupt you, but I've been around, and I remember stories about you winning a state championship with 1 arm. It's true.
It's basically true. The arm was taped where it couldn't be moved, and it was just a great feat. But the biggest thing is I'm still in coaching. I love coaching. I love helping kids strive on. I was talking to Mark.
Here, let's take a break here real quick. These 2 are just sitting here.
Well, I was going to say something about these 2,
okay,
and Sean, and then.
All right. Yeah, and then
I'll finish it.
No, then me and you will sit here and talk.
Okay.
I'm not trying to hurry you.
No, that's okay. Okay, I do want, since my 2 children are here, the other one's not here right now that wrestles. I also have a daughter and another son that plays basketball. But
basketball.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but anyhow, he's pretty good at it. The greatest feat that my son John, that I think, after finishing second in the state, I think
This kid here?
yes, John Jr. He beat Jim Boardwine, I believe it was, or was it Joe?
Boardwine from Streetsboro?
Jim Boardwine, a two-time state champ, beat him in the PCL championships
Semis.
in the semifinals. I think that was the highlight of his career. By beating that, it was a big upset, and on his, that was a great. On my son Sean, I think his highlight was when we wrestled St. Ed's. I helped coach Coventry along with Randy Glover. We went up to St. Ed's. They beat us 31-29, but at that time, my son tech falled Mark Jane 15-0. I think that was Sean Tompkins' highlight. Not only winning a state championship, but doing that was a great thing.
Wow.
This year, Mark Jane, a three-time All-American in college too. My son Josh, he come along this year. He was kind of slagging. He does go to Mogador, and I decided with about 3 or 4 weeks left in the season, I decided I better start helping him out a little bit. Nothing against Mogador coaches, but I figured I'm his dad. I think I could help him out a little bit. He didn't even place in the PCL, or the PTC they call it now. The very next week, he upset the kid from Rootstown that had beat him 10 to, what was it, or did he pin you?
I beat him 10-2.
No, I'm talking about in the PCL, PTC.
I didn't even wrestle him there.
Well, one time you wrestled him before.
At the D's.
Oh, at the D's. The kid destroyed you. Anyhow, he come back as a freshman, and he won the sectionals as a freshman. That's something that me,
Sing into it.
nor my other brother, I have another brother, George, who was a state champion, and my other brother, Robert, and my 2 sons, and myself. That's a feat that none of us has ever done.
Now, hey, Johnny, are you telling me that you're a 2-time state champion, never won a sectional championship?
I'm saying I never won it as a freshman. I won it
Okay,
3 other years.
Okay.
Okay, I won the district 4 times. I was the first 4-time district champion in Ohio. I'm saying that this kid right here, his biggest feat this year was winning a sectional as a freshman. That's a great accomplishment for a kid to do that. He has a lot to look forward, but he also has a lot of shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Not only his dad's, but his brother's. So, you can name a lot of names out there, but I say the Tompkins family is one of the best in this area
Well,
and in the state of Ohio.
who